Hello guys, it's the Unclear 999. Today's video is about how phones change our lives forever. Our world shifted irrevocably the moment the first mobile phone call rang out, not just because voices could travel through the air without wires, but because we unlocked ourselves from time and place. Cellular devices reshaped how we connect, work, learn, travel, and even think. Suddenly, communication became personal and portable. Families could stay in touch across continents. Teenagers could text in secret from beneath the table. First dates could cancel on the spot with a quick call. The ordinary could be extraordinary through a viral message. The convenience became breathtaking. Need directions. Instead of folding paper maps and asking strangers, we tapped an icon. Hungry, we could scroll through reviews, order delivery, and track the driver's progress. Want to know the score? Skip ad breaks, watch lectures, learn a new language, or record life's milestones. It all fit in our pocket, our communication device, doubling as our entertainment hub, planner, classroom, photo album, and library. This new normal didn't just change what we do, it rewired who we are. We became chronically connected yet chronically distracted. Notifications taught our brains to crave immediacy and interruption. Multitasking became our badge of honor, but often at the expense of depth. We discovered entire industries built atop mobile ecosystem. Remote work hold possible only because that small slab of glass spoke to other devices, and through them, to our world. It powered the gig economy, gave birth to influencers, allowed neighbors to organize and protest, made telehealth and remote therapy viable options, and gave voice to marginalized communities by breaking down barriers to content creation. We found solidarity in groups, once isolated, from caregivers and immigrants to specialty hobbyists and subcultures, but this liberation came with hidden costs. As we embraced perpetual connectivity, privacy slipped through our fingers. Our movements, conversations, preferences, and even emotions became data points sold, quantified, and analyzed. We began to measure our self-worth in likes, our social validation by shares and comments. The world compressed into screens, real diversions or expansions. Our friendships deeper or shallower when they live in notifications. And how much of our attention remains truly ours when apps compete for every second. Yet the transformation isn't ending, it's accelerating. Now we're on the cusp of augmented reality, virtual assistants giggling answers to our questions, entire communities thriving in cloud-based rooms. But through every update and upgrade, it's clear. Cellular devices didn't just change our tools, they changed us. We are the first generation to learn on glass, to grieve on videos, to birth babies and track health stats through sensors. Our memories are partly online, our conversations held in invisible waves through the air. And it prompts the question, who are we becoming? And what do we want from this connection that we carry in our hands? As cellular technology continued to evolve, our dependency depended not merely out of convenience, but because society itself reshaped around the presence of these devices. The workplace became more fluid, untethered from the traditional 9-to-5 grind. With a smartphone in hand, the office could now be the coffee shop, the kitchen table, or the front seat of a parked car. Emails were no longer checked just at a desk, they were answered at stoplights, in elevators, and on the treadmill. Text messages replaced business memos, and meetings took place on video calls, often bridging continents in real time. This new mobile workforce promised flexibility, but it also blurred the boundaries between work and rest. Many found themselves perpetually on, always reachable, always responsive, and able to fully disconnect, even on vacation or while lying in bed. In education, cellular devices brought learning beyond the classroom walls. Students could access textbooks, lectures, and entire libraries from their phones. A child in a remote village could watch the same physics lecture as a student at a top-tier university. Language apps, math tutorials, and digital flashcards transformed learning into a 24/7 opportunity. But it wasn't all gain. Attention spans fractured, distractions multiplied, and the line between academic focus and social scrolling often vanished. Teachers began to fight for students' attention not against each other, but against the infinite internet buzzing inside every pocket. Socially, the smartphone became our passport to the global village. With the tap of a screen, we could send videos across oceans, build communities across borders, and share our joys and heartbreaks with both friends and strangers. Platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram didn't just allow us to consume content, they empowered us to create it. Ordinary individuals became filmmakers, comedians, educators, activists. A teenager could become a millionaire with the right viral moment. A mother could launch a small business from her living room. A disaster victim could live stream their story before traditional media arrived. Cellular devices leveled the playing field at least in terms of access to attention. But in this democratized digital world, new pressures emerged. Social media built on smartphones introduced performance into daily life. People began curating their lives for consumption, showcasing carefully selected highlights while masking the struggles. The dinner wasn't just a meal, the vacation wasn't just a break, it was content. The result was a generation simultaneously more connected and more isolated, more seen and more misunderstood. The quest for validation through screens became its own kind of quiet addiction, subtly shaping self-esteem and behavior, often without us realizing it. Beyond the personal, smartphones had profound effects on society at large. Movements like #Black Lives Matter, #MeToo, and climate activism gained massive traction through mobile platforms. A protest could be organized in minutes. Injustices once hidden could be filmed and shared instantly. Cellular devices became tools for social accountability, documenting truths that could no longer be denied or ignored. But even this had its shadows. Disinformation spread just as easily, weaponized by algorithms and amplified by clicks. Conspiracy theories traveled faster than facts. Reality itself became contested in the echo chambers of our feeds. Culturally, the device in our hand became an extension of our identity. It wasn't just a tool, it was a mirror. From the wallpapers we chose to the apps we installed, from the way we texted to the emojis we favored, it reflected our tastes, our habits, and even our And when it was lost or stolen, the panic wasn't just about replacing a gadget, it was about losing a piece of ourselves. Our photos, our conversations, our schedules, our memories, so much of our life lived inside that slim rectangle. In health, the influence of smartphones has been paradoxical. On one hand, they've empowered us with fitness trackers, meditation apps, sleep monitors, and instant access to medical information. People track their steps, manage chronic conditions, set health goals all from their devices. Mental health apps provide therapy tools to those who might never set foot in a counselor's office. Crisis helplines, support groups, and calming exercises are available in the moments they're needed most. Yet, ironically, those same devices often contribute to the very anxiety, depression, and sleep deprivation they aim to solve. Constant connectivity breeds burnout. Doom scrolling in the late hours erodes rest. Comparison through curated feeds damages self. It's a tool, but a double-edged one, offering both healing and harm, depending on how it's used. And then there's the family unity defined by the presence of screens. Parents now text their children from the next room. Toddlers learn to swipe before they speak in full sentences. Dinner tables that once echoed with conversations sometimes fall silent as everyone stares downward into their own digital world. Yet, at the same time, families divided by distance stay closer than ever. Grandparents video call their grandchildren. Siblings share memes as a new form of bonding. Love lives bloom in DMs and dating apps. Heartfelt connections are made through pixels, even if physical presence remains absent. As technology continues to advance, smartphones have started to morph into even more powerful tools. With artificial intelligence baked into their systems, they predict our preferences, remind us of appointments, compose our messages, and sort our photos without asking. Voice assistants answer questions we haven't fully finished asking. Cameras recognize faces. Maps adjust to traffic in real time. The device that once simply made phone calls now feels like an indispensable brain extension, a digital companion that never sleeps. But with that power comes a greater responsibility, both personal and collective. As individuals, we are learning to set boundaries, to reassert our control over a device designed to command attention. We talk of digital detox, of turning off notifications, of reclaiming silence, and as societies, we're wrestling with ethical dilemmas. Who owns our data? How do we protect children from harmful content? How do we ensure accessibility bridge digital divides, and design technology that serves all, not just the privileged. As we step deeper into this digital age, the line between man and machine blurs ever further. Cellular devices have not only transformed external behaviors, they've restructured internal rhythms. Time itself feels different now. Waiting is no longer idle. It's filled with scrolling. Boredom, once a space for creativity and daydreaming, has nearly vanished, replaced by a never-ending feed of information. We carry the world's knowledge, chaos, beauty, and tragedy in our palms, consuming it all in rapid bursts. And though this access empowers us, it also overwhelms. The mind, once trained for focused thought and deep processing, is now adapting to hyperstimulation, constantly alert, constantly toggling, constantly engaged. For young minds especially, this rewiring of attention has massive implications for memory, critical thinking, and emotional regulation. Still, the power of cellular technology isn't just in what it does individually, it lies in how it reshapes the fabric of our collective existence. Emergencies can be responded to faster because everyone has a phone. Lost pets are found, missing people are traced, help is summoned in seconds. Natural disasters and conflicts are documented by everyday citizens with phone cameras, providing real-time footage that saves lives and tells unfiltered truths. In the realm of law enforcement and justice, smartphones have become the ultimate witness, silent but unblinking, capturing moments that spark global conversations and hold systems accountable. In commerce, cell phones created an economic revolution. Small businesses flourish on Instagram and WhatsApp, where a phone becomes the storefront, the register, and the marketing agency. Vendors in remote villages can receive digital payments and orders via text. Farmers get crop prices, workers find gigs. Cellular networks have leapfrogged the need for desktop infrastructure in many parts of the world, leveling the playing field and lifting communities out of poverty. Mobile banking in places like Kenya and India has redefined financial inclusion, allowing people without access to traditional banks to save, borrow, and build wealth. In these places, the cell phone isn't just a gadget, it's liberation. Politically, the power of cellular devices is both profound and complex. They serve as tools for civic engagement, enabling people to register to vote, access information, and participate in political discourse. Protesters organize movements, live-stream injustices, and mobilize millions through a single hashtag. But this power is the same devices can be used for surveillance, manipulation, and control. Authoritarian regimes have used mobile networks to track dissenters, block access to information, and spread propaganda. Algorithms decide what we see, shaping public opinion and, in some cases, distorting the truth. Thus, the smartphone is a symbol of prétended, of potential oppression depending on who holds the reins of digital infrastructure. As we examine mental health through this lens, we uncover new challenges. The constant connectivity of cellular life means that rest is never truly rest. Teenagers lie awake at night checking messages or watching TikTok. Professionals answer emails during dinner. Parents find themselves split between parenting and scrolling. The fear of missing out becomes a silent anxiety, a whisper that says, "You're falling behind, you're not doing enough, you're not living like they are." Loneliness paradoxically increases as we substitute real-world presence with digital connection. The blue light from our screens disrupts our sleep cycles, while social validation in the form of likes and comments begins to shape our emotional well. And yet, when used with care and intention, these same devices also provide lifelines: crisis text lines, suicide prevention resources, meditation tools, and digital therapy sessions. They are both the storm and the shelter. Culturally, the smartphone has globalized trends in real time. Dance, styles, slang, fashion, memes, they now cross continents overnight. A song created in one corner of the world can become a hit everywhere within hours. Young people from radically different backgrounds can feel connected by the same jokes, aesthetics, or music. This shared cultural space fosters empathy, curiosity, and a sense of global citizenship. But it also risks homogenization, cultures flattening into algorithms, local identities swallowed by global trends. The challenge becomes preserving authenticity in an ecosystem that rewards what is viral over what is meaningful. Perhaps one of the most startling effects of cellular devices is on memory itself. With every moment documented, filmed, snapped, backed up, our mental need to remember has changed. We outsource our memory to the cloud. Birthdays, schedules, even phone numbers that once lived in our minds now reside in our digital companions. While this frees our brain for higher order thinking, it also weakens recall and attentiveness. We no longer feel the urgency to remember something when we know we can just Google it later. We capture moments through screens rather than through presence, sometimes forgetting to live the moment in the process. The evolution of cellular devices also raises pressing environmental concerns. As billions of smartphones are produced, shipped, and discarded, the environmental toll becomes enormous. The mining of rare earth elements, the carbon footprint of manufacturing, the e-waste piling in landfills all beg the question: how sustainable is our digital dependence? Companies are being pushed to rethink materials, extend product lifespans, and improve but we, too, have a role to play, rethinking our upgrade cycles, resisting unnecessary consumption, and supporting greener tech solutions. Looking ahead, the future of cellular technology holds even more profound changes. With the rise of 5G and eventually 6G, the promise of real-time augmented reality, smart cities, and ubiquitous connectivity comes closer. Imagine your phone unlocking your home, paying for your coffee, monitoring your health, navigating your car, translating conversations in real time, and seamlessly merging with your wearable devices. Imagine a world where phones vanish entirely, where they're replaced by smart glasses, neural implants, or other forms of embedded technology. As that world dawns, we must ask not just what is possible, but what is ethical, healthy, and just. Ultimately, the story of the cellular device is the story of human desire or longing to connect, to know, to express, to belong. It is the story of how tools evolve and in turn evolve us. From the clunky bricks of the 1980s to the sleek glass rectangles of today, the phone has always been more than metal and circuit. It is our notebook, our camera, our therapist, our classroom, our lifeline. It holds our secrets, our dreams, and our distractions. It is where we fight, love, learn, and grow.